Don't let YouTube decide what information you get. That's your choice. YouTube is deleting our videos and cuts you off from a source of honest reporting. Make sure you don't lose access to NTD's news content, and take a quick moment to subscribe to our newsletter so no matter what happens here, you'll keep your access to a trustworthy news source.
Under the leadership of constitutionally minded sheriffs and elected commissioners, 2 rural counties in Nevada recently became constitutional counties. NTD speaks with the president of the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association about the move. Here are the details.
Nevada's Elko and Lander counties passed resolutions to uphold the Bill of Rights in their jurisdictions, even if it means standing up against unconstitutional acts by state and federal governments. As part of the effort, the 2 county governments also joined the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association. President of the association and retired Sheriff Richard Mack says the lockdowns and mandates of the last year were the last straw for many sheriffs.
We're supposed to be protecting and defending the individual liberty of every person in this country. That's what we want to do, and that's really what prompted all of this. Was these officials in Lander and Elko are sick and tired of watching government control us, mandate us, monitor us, and expect us to go along with unconstitutional and ungodly mandates. We're not doing it anymore, and this is just kind of a knee-jerk reaction of people who have had it up to here.
He says all public servants, including sheriffs and most police officers, swear an oath of office to uphold the Constitution. By declaring yourself as a constitutional county or sheriff, he says you're simply fulfilling your oath. Sheriff Max says what Elko and Lander counties have done is the peaceful and effective solution millions of Americans have been praying for to take back America, county by county and state by state.
What this does is it puts a great example before every county in the country. Why are you not doing the same thing?
For Americans wanting to protect their constitutional freedoms, Max says one of the best things you can do is to form a relationship with your local sheriff.
Ask him or her if they are going to be a constitutional sheriff and if they will defend your right to choose to be vaccinated, to choose to wear a mask, to choose to go to church, to choose to have a weapon in your home. Will they defend all of those rights, or will they go along with government and say, well, it's for your own good? We must get every one of them educated and let them make the choice to be a constitutional sheriff so that your choice to be free is protected.
Max says that constitutional liberties don't just go away whenever there is a government-declared emergency or crisis. He said this is something many sheriffs nationwide are thinking about. Going forward, he expects we'll see more constitutional sheriffs, counties, and eventually states. Grace Coulter, NTD News.
Texas is now a Second Amendment sanctuary state and a constitutional carry state. Texans don't need any permit to carry their handguns starting in September. NTD's Allison Lee reports.
Where people are saying from the federal level to the local level that Second Amendment rights are under assault, that government officials are saying, heck yes, government is coming to take your guns. Texas will not let that happen.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed 7 gun right bills into law on Thursday, and one of the bills makes Texas a constitutional carry state, meaning that from September 1st, legal gun owners don't need any permit to either open carry or concealed carry their handguns. Another bill makes Texas a Second Amendment sanctuary state.
This helps to shield Texas and Texans from overreaching federal government laws that we will not allow any Texan to enforce in the Lone Star State.
The signing ceremony took place at the Alamo, the cradle of liberty for Texas. The governor pays tribute to the men and women that defended the Alamo mission back in 1836 and explains its symbolic significance.
They fought for freedom. They fought for liberty. And that included the freedom to be able to carry a weapon. And they knew the reason why somebody needed to carry a weapon was far more than just to use it to kill game that they would eat. They knew as much as anybody the necessity of being able to carry a weapon for the purpose of defending yourself against attacks by others.
A reporter asked Abbott about a shooting in Austin last week that left a man dead. The governor said he visited the family of the victim and that it was a tragic event.
But the family members were adamant about two things. One, do not let this crime committed by teenagers be a reason to eliminate gun rights in the United States of America.
As for the other 5 bills, 2 of them prohibit governments from restricting gun sales during declared disasters and from contracting with firms that discriminate against gun businesses like the NRA. One bill removes requirements for holsters. Another allows travelers visiting Texas to store firearms in their hotel rooms. And the last bill bars federal regulations for gun suppressors made and used in Texas. Allison Lee, NTD News.
Former President Trump is starting his campaign-style rallies again. The first one will be held on Saturday, June 26th at the Lorain County Fairgrounds in Ohio. It'll be Trump's first rally since leaving office in January. The last time Trump spoke was at the North Carolina Republican Party State Convention earlier in June. Trump's Save America PAC said this is the first of many appearances by the former president, and he'll support candidates and causes that further the America First agenda. The PAC is sponsoring the event. At the rally, Trump is also set to endorse former advisor Max Miller for Congress. The IRS turned down a Christian organization's request for a tax benefit. Their reason? Because they study and use the Bible, which the IRS says is affiliated with the Republican Party. NTD's Miguel Moreno has more from the organization's lawyer.
Christians Engage says they awaken, motivate, and empower religious believers to pray, vote, and engage in politics. They applied for tax-exempt status, a tax benefit, but the IRS has denied their request and sent a letter explaining why.
I've never seen a letter like that before, where a government agency specifically says that Bible teachings are Republican affiliated.
Lawyer Leah Patterson from First Liberty, a law firm dedicated to defending religious freedom, represents the organization. She tells me Christians Engaged does not promote political candidates or political parties, which is prohibited under the benefits rules.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So the IRS denied their request because Christians Engaged studies and uses the Bible in its work.
That's the best we can figure from the letter. As you read it, it says that it points to Christians Engaged teaching and educating believers on national issues as it relates to their belief in the Bible as the inerrant Word of God. And that's the reason that the IRS gives. It says that the Bible teachings are typically associated with the Republican Party, and that makes it a partisan organization. Now, that's completely incorrect under the law, so that's why we're appealing.
IRS exempt organization's director, Stephen Martin, said in his denial letter to Christians Engaged, while you educate voters on what the Bible says about issues, your educational activities are not neutral. The topics typically are affiliated with distinct candidates and specific political party platforms. Another section says the organization created voter guides with candidates that align with the Christian biblical value system. But Patterson denies the creation of voter guides in her letter, saying the IRS's decision violates the organization's First Amendment rights by discriminating against their religious viewpoint. First Liberty appealed the decision and expects the process to play out over the next few months. Miguel Moreno, NTD News.
How would your doctor like to be employed by Apple? A report suggests the tech giant is going to link data from its personal devices with a new health platform that would give you access to real doctors you could speak with through your phone. NTD's Evelyn Lee has the details.
Tech giants are trying to branch out further, this time into the healthcare industry. On Wednesday, the Wall Street Journal revealed Apple's extensive plans. The company wants to create its own medical service with Apple-employed doctors. Dr. Ken Perry says it makes sense, with all the people now getting used to healthcare at home.
They own so much of the time and space of people's home environments. They're going to see how they can take that and affect healthcare.
According to the report, Apple's thinking about linking data from its devices with virtual and in-person care. Perry says it could shorten the process and the waiting time before a patient can be diagnosed.
Rather than just you coming to the hospital and me having to admit you and put you on a monitor for 2 or 3 days, Now I'm going to have some of that information before you even arrive.
Just earlier this year, Amazon launched Amazon Care. And just like its other services, speed is at the heart of it. Amazon realizes that the hospital process is inefficient, and it wants to change just that.
It's very likely for patients to be in the ER for 2 or 3 hours, which in comparison to years before is extremely quick. But what patients want is even faster than that. They want answers the moment they arrive.
Microsoft has also stepped into telehealth, offering a cloud for healthcare professionals to schedule and conduct virtual patient visits. Since healthcare is a very expensive sector, Perry says it's a great opportunity for tech companies to maximize profits.
So if these big tech companies are able to figure out how to own a vertical component in that space, then really be able to be part of not just the diagnostics, but also the delivery of healthcare, they're probably going to be able to do a really good job in minimizing costs.
He says he expects this to be a big push that patients will be willing to spend money on. According to a report by Business Insider, tech companies might encounter difficulties at first. That's especially in gaining consumers' trust, but also because of concerns about cybersecurity. Evelyn Lee, NTD News.
Google just opened its first ever retail store in Manhattan. Now you can try out Google hardware and services firsthand. NTD's Arian Pazdar takes us there to see what it's like.
Most people are using some sort of Google software every single day. Google Maps, Gmail, or just a search engine, Google. But the tech giant also makes hardware devices, and now its first ever physical store opened its doors here in Manhattan on Thursday.
Now Google has a store. They're just going to be popping everywhere. Apple better, pick up the game.
It's really unique to be able to have like the interactive areas.
The store features a number of interactive experiences. They demonstrate Google's hardware and services in a more hands-on experience.
They want you to have experience like you're at home, and they want you to feel comfortable.
For example, the so-called sandboxes, which are similar to living rooms in furniture stores. In one of them, you can see what it feels like using smart home devices.
It is a little jarring. It's like, wow, like everything is like speaks to you, It's like, what do I talk to? What do I listen to?
In the Pixel Sandbox, you can check out camera features within a custom light installation. And in the Stadia Sandbox, you can play games. And there's the Google Imagination Space. It can feature different technologies. Right now, it's a big embodiment of a Google Translator.
It was really neat to be able to see kind of what I said and then it being able to be translated so quickly and over 100 languages.
Besides the entertaining aspect, the store also serves a functional use, of course. Customers can bring in their broken Google products, many of which will be repaired on site. Arian Pazdar, NTD News, New York.
Navigating a world of economic madness, you need to have the right guide. What do today's decisions mean for your tomorrow? We ask why. What's the alternative? Uncover the deeper reasons and the hidden influences, and highlight the real opportunities for profit. At NTD Business, we connect the dots for you. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.